Man City are next in action against Italian giants Juventus on Thursday. It's their final Group G fixture at the Club World Cup. Of course, both teams have now qualified for the last 16. City beat Al Ain 6-0, while Juventus beat Wydad 4-1 in their most recent game. Top spot is now up for grabs in this one. As things stand, Juventus do sit top on goals scored. They've scored 9, City have scored 8 at the moment. So Juventus can afford to draw this one, whereas City need to win if they want to finish top and potentially avoid a last 16 game with Real Madrid, which is still possible. So yeah, this fixture will represent City's toughest game yet at the Club World Cup, won't it, Stephen? What do you think we can expect from this one? Do you think City Guardiola will name, his strongest side, or at least a strong side for this one? And from what you've seen in these opening couple of games, are you optimistic that City can claim 3 points on Thursday?
Yeah, I am. I think we can. Maybe we will as well. I don't know it'll be the strongest side, but it'll be definitely a refined take on it based off the past two games. I'm expecting to see all the new signings start. Aït-Nouri will definitely start at left back. Reinders will definitely start in midfield. Rodri won't yet. I don't think he's quite there yet, unfortunately. I think Guardiola wants to give him a little bit more time to get his rhythm. I think as well, we'll probably see Shirky playing off Haaland, which is where he looked much more comfortable as opposed to this sort of false nine role he was doing, in the prior game. And he's got a lot of choices after that, really, which is good. I think Vardy will probably almost certainly play inside Aït-Nouri at left centre back, and I think Diaz wasn't quite available for this, so I'm expecting him to come into the side as well. Guardiola said he should be back soon. Then after that, will probably be Nunes. Mark Kuznov got a game at right back, and against Al Ain, so it could be him there. But in terms of the actual 11, it'd be one of those two. Reinders and probably Gundogan and Shirky, I guess, would be the midfield. Foden could play there. Foden was good last night in his cameo, so he came on and full of life. He probably should have scored a couple of goals, if we're being honest. One would have been a tap in after Shirky beautifully freed Haaland, and he passed it to him from 2 yards out and somehow didn't manage to hit the back of the net. But I'm expecting to see, a team that Guardiola thinks could do something later on in the tournament. So a combination of those players and based off who deserves it, Echeverri won't play because he got injured, unfortunately. Rico Lewis, I don't know if he's suspended or not. Is he suspended still?
I think something came out yesterday saying that he's been given an extended ban now, which I think is bizarre for what it
Wow.
was. I think he's going to get a 3 game ban now, which would
Poor
mean
lad.
miss. I mean, he's missed one. He missed the Juventus game, and then whoever they play in the last
Really
16.
harsh that. I still
Yeah, I think
maintain that was
yeah.
very, very harsh. The guy was incredibly late and got himself injured, if anything. But
Mhm.
either way, Rico not available then. So yeah, it'd be something like that with I don't know, probably Foden might get on the right again with Shirky through the middle, and then Reinders, Gundogan, Shirky, and then maybe Bernardo to fair, and then I don't know who'd be on the left. It could be Marmoush, or it could be Doku or something like that. But it'll be a team of that level quality, which is something approaching an 11 you expect that Guardiola will have in mind going forward. I could be wrong. You could just literally rotate a whole bunch of players again, but I suspect he won't be. What Guardiola's best 11 looks like could differ vastly to what everything I've just said out loud, but that seems to be the direction he's heading. Akanji probably might get a game actually. Guardiola loves Akanji, so he always finds a way to fit him in the side. But it'll be something like that, and I suspect we'll see, a refinement on the structures that we've sort of put into place so far. For example, Echeverri was playing against Alain out on the left technically, but he wasn't. He was very central alongside Haaland with Aït-Nouri essentially owning that entire left-hand channel. We offered so much going forward that Echeverri could just drift central and play alongside Haaland when he got the ball. So I think Marmoush might get a similar role, or Doku, whoever, or maybe Foden could get that. He could get start on the left and dip inside with Aït-Nouri there. I'm not sure, but it'll be something like that, I would guess, where Guardiola's going to take a combination of the two sides.
Yeah, and with Aït-Nouri at left back, or as an advanced left wing back, if you like. It's interesting seeing that Al Ain game. They sort of had three centre backs, and you had Aït-Nouri and Nunes playing quite high. Do you think Aït-Nouri would be given the sort of the same freedom as he would if he was to start against Juventus if City only started with two centre backs maybe in this one, and Nunes bombing down on the right? Or do you think he would be maybe a bit more reserved in this one? How would you see that if City were playing with either two or three centre backs?
I don't think they bought in Norwich to be reserved, to be honest. I think they do want him wide and far forward. I don't know what that means. It could be tactically, it might be a bit exposed and we go for it a bit more. But at the same time, it could be, we just saw Kusanov play right back. And Kusanov, if he's playing right back and with eight noise at left back, Kusanov's doing the Kyle Walker role essentially. And To be honest, I can't really think of anyone more potentially suitable for that. Obviously, you can't just put someone in that role and presume they're going to cover it. But Kyle Walker, played right back while Cancelo typically got forward on the left side during City's sort of golden era. Uh, and he was there because of his pace on the counter to cover, that side of the channel where you had, the three centre backs sort of there. I think it could be that. It could be play Kusanov there and you see that you let him sort of cover that side. He's not a right back, Kusanov, to be fair, but when Eight Nori plays that far up, he's playing right centre back really, in that role. And he won't have he'll have one defending to do to fair against Juventus, but most of his time will be on the ball in a back three if he does play that role. If Nunes is there, it could be that he he could what he could do potentially if he wants to play Nunes, he could play two centre backs, but then play three sort of slightly deeper midfielders. Like Nico Gonzalez could play with Bernardo and Gundogan, and Shirky could play off the left but play central alongside Holland anyway, or something like that, or off the right but central anyway. So he might do that, but we'll see. There's plenty of options there. I'm leading. I would love him personally to lean towards Kusanov and play the back three versus Vardiol, Diaz and Kusanov. I think that'd be really nice, and then you can only have your two midfielders, be it Reinders and Bernardo or Gundogan, and let Shirky do his thing.
Yeah, and in terms of Juventus now, City's next opponent, how tough do you think this game could be? It's a big step up compared to the first two games that they've played against now. So what do you expect maybe from them?
Yeah, obviously a really good side. They gave us a tough time in the Champions League last season when City were nowhere near the quality that they ended up the season as, and we were really poor. And they've had obviously a couple of good results: 4-1 against Wydad and 5-0 against Al Ain. So they obviously, though to be fair, Al Ain had plenty. Sorry, Wydad had plenty of chances against them. I was looking at the stats, in the early hours, and yeah, they they had their moments, and so they did against us too. To be fair, but yeah, look, we know an awful lot about them. I think Cambiaso will have something to prove. It feels spicy that actually. That guy's bitter. Like, he's talking about Man City a lot, and he's talking about City's unlimited money and they can do what they want. And I'm like, it's a little bit like, obviously it was very, very unspoken, but everyone knew that Cambiaso was close to potentially joining Man City in January. Like, it's not a secret that it was very obvious, and for whatever reason, City have readjusted and changed their plans. And I think he's definitely put out a little bit. He's spoken about City a lot in the press recently, and the comments do seem a little bit, jilted lover, which is fine. But he'll have something to prove, and he got a great assist actually against Wydad. And then obviously, the quality they've got. Mwani, Yildiz, Savona players been linked with City as well, actually at full back. Conceição, uh, McKennie, loads of quality players, and they'll obviously be making plenty of changes too. Vlahovic might play, of course, Locatelli. Look, yeah, they're a really good side, and they'll be more of a stern test for City. I think City should be looking to beat these. And look, it's not going to be easy because Juventus are obviously a good side, but if you want to show, any development, or any step forward, based off the ideas so far, and also based off where we were at last season, this is a good chance to do that. It is, in my head, sort of semi-pre-season still, so I expect rustiness. But I think this is a good chance to put these ideas into practice against a good side, because the sides we've played so far, they're not. These are League One, League Two level, if not maybe, I don't know. I think they might struggle in those leagues potentially. So they are very low level footballers. With all due respect to them, that's not to say the same about all the sides in the Club World Cup. I think City have just generally got lucky with Al Ain and Wydad as opposed to Flamengo, or something like that, the better South American sides. But yeah, I think Guardiola will be very up for this, and I think this is one he's probably been working towards.
Yeah, and as things stand, it looks like City could face one of three opponents in the last 16: Real Madrid, Red Bull Salzburg, or Al Hilal. So it's important for City, isn't it, to finish top and avoid that potential game against Real Madrid. It's no disrespect to Salzburg and Al Hilal, but Real Madrid probably would pose a greater threat to City than those two. So, it's important that City win this game against Juventus.
So winning avoids Real Madrid. Okay, so
Well,
it's
potentially, I think if Real Madrid finish, we're assuming that Real Madrid finish top. That's what we're thinking. If they finish second, of course,
Yeah,
City would
yeah.
finish second.
If I know my Manchester City Football Club, we are going to play Real Madrid because it's just every single year in
Yeah,
some way, and then there'll be the opening game of the Champions League season somehow.
I think it's four
Um,
games, 4 seasons in a row now. They've played him in the Champions League. I
so
think
bored
that's
of them, mate.
yeah,
I'm so bored of Real Madrid. And this is the thing everyone goes on about, like, oh, you want the best teams playing each other all the time. When you're the actual fans, you get a bit bored of it. You just genuinely do. You're like, I just let me play Pachuca instead of Real Madrid. That's what they've got. Yeah, look, obviously you want to win the game, and the benefit of that is who would we get then? Would it be whoever's second in that group?
yeah, that's right. So it could be, I mean, it could be Real Madrid, but it could be Al Hilal or Red Bull Salzburg. As things stand, it's Red Bull Salzburg, but they play Real Madrid in their last game, and Al Hilal have got Pachuca, so they need to win and hope that Red Bull Salzburg lose to finish second.
Right. Okay. What's going to happen is City are somehow going to win and get Real Madrid anyway. Like, so they'll finish second somehow. No, look, yeah, look, we want to win it, and I think we'd like to avoid them just for make it fun, make it something different. So. Yeah, it's important. Look, I think, look, ultimately, this conversation is a weird one, and we're sat here, talking about it sincerely and so on. But as a fan, it's a bit of a mental readjustment, and obviously, FIFA want to take it very seriously. City will do because the prize money is impossible to ignore. Best part of 100 million. That's absurd. It's an awful lot of money, and immediately the outlay on eight Nori, Shirky, and Reinders is just wiped out. Which is. Because of potentially winning this. So City are going to take it very seriously, and it's obviously going to stay around this competition. And to be fair, look, the results have been fun as well. Botafogo beating PSG, Mamelodi Sundowns being incredibly exciting. Obviously it's not worked out for Auckland, unfortunately, but then you've got Chelsea getting beat by Flamengo as well, and it's been loads of really good fun results, and I think it's definitely been good for the rest of the world against the European sides because obviously they come with the inflated ego and so on. So I think City probably do want to be the first to win it, and they do want the financial reward as well. And I think to have the best chance, you probably need to avoid Real Madrid. Let someone else get them. You've got Al Hilal or Salzburg, you fancy your chances an awful lot more than you do against Real Madrid for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting actually if City were to face Red Bull Salzburg in the next round, because of course City's new assistant Pep Lijnders managed
Linders, yeah.
Salzburg for 6 months at the start of last season, so he'll obviously know that squad very well.